Welcome everybody, it's Talam, and I got for you guys a pretty cool video if I do say so myself. But this is, if you guys can't already tell from the title, that it's why I think the trailer, not the cutscene, big difference, could have like kind of leaked little information, purposely of course, on the Easter egg inside the giant. And if you guys are really do think that there's going to be there's a bigger Easter egg in the giant, then stay tuned to this. And if you're one of the people who don't, then I don't know, you really should just jump on the bandwagons, everybody. You really should. But anyways, before I get into this, I wanted to say thank you guys on my recent videos. You've given me so much support on them. Oh my gosh, it's just insane. But I wanted to thank you guys for that before anything else except the introduction to this video. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we see pack-punch guns inside this trailer multiple times, and if you guys don't know, I'm relating this to the fly Easter egg. It's like you just have to shoot it with the pack-punch weapon, it goes into the air, and then you have to go shoot the monkeys and all that good stuff. But you guys can easily argue that they've shown pack-punch weapons in almost every single trailer for zombies that ever existed, which is true. So can't really say that much about it. Then this more what's the word? I don't know. It's more prominent, I guess. That's not the right word, but whatever. And it shows the actual furnace. If you guys don't know, when you do the fly Easter egg, I was shooting 3 things, and with the pack punch weapon too, you can't forget about the first step. This is where you pick up the annihilator. So maybe they were hinting at it, because this is actually shown for a very short time. Not that short, but it was still shown for a small amount of time. So maybe they could have been hinting at something from the start, so not too sure about that. Now let's move on to the other Easter egg, the Easter egg of when you have to throw the monkeys in the teleporter, activate the teleporter, and you just have to keep doing it. So they showed the monkeys a lot, of course, and well, not a lot, but they did make them obvious. They made them pretty darn obvious that the monkeys were going to be there on purpose. And I can't imagine them showing the monkeys like so much, a very close-up picture of it for nothing. And they were for something. And if you guys disagree, then you guys can disagree. But they show the teleporter, which you have to throw the monkeys in, and you can easily argue that it's the main part of the map. Of course they're going to show it, and you are right. But this image is where it really gets me, that this is the same thing after you threw the monkeys in all the teleporters. This is the button that starts glowing, and you have to click for the giant to shoot. But of course this isn't the same one, because this is at teleporter ZA and not at the mainframe, which you guys, of course, but it's still the same button. It looks exactly the same, so can't really argue with that, can you? Kind of, you can, but whatever. And so this is another reason. These are all the reasons why I really think it is, and that's my strongest point in all my reasoning. So if you guys still don't agree with me, then whatever. And so let's move on to the things I have ideas that could possibly be things that I've seen inside the trailer that can be related to it. Now this area you guys will see on screen, and it's if you guys don't recognize this right off the bat, let me show you another image, and that probably doesn't help you either, but it helped me recognize where it was. And this is actually on the way to teleport Z, what's it called, ZA. And if you're heading downstairs from like across the bridge and you're heading downstairs, it's just down there. It's inside that first zombie spawn you run into, and that's where it is. But if you're coming from the spawn, you have to go, if you're facing the mainframe, it's to the right, and you just take down that path, and it's you don't turn back to head to the teleport ZA. You keep going straight, and the spawn will be to the left of you right before the stairs. So that's where that is, and it's very questionable, because these 2 frames that I've showed you were actually shown for only 2. They were only up there for 2 frames. So they could be hinting at something, I don't know. But let's move on to the next thing. It's the traps, because if you really think about it, this is a small map, and they can't really add something to do the Easter egg, because then make the Easter egg too obvious to be too easy to do. so you have to use things from the past. So maybe you have to use the traps to activate a certain thing. I'm not sure. I've tried it before in my previous video, but that was on solo, so maybe you have to have more players to do it properly. Of course, I tried to activate them all at the same time. I did have them all running at the same time, but you know, it's like you probably have to activate it all at the same time instead of just running from one to the other. But that's about it for the traps. Then here's a small thing. I don't really think it's anything, but since it was shown so much in the trailer, I had to mention it. It's the starting pistol, and it's shown so much. Every single character it shows with holding it at least once. So the reason I don't believe this is actually a big thing is because the starting pistol you cannot get back after you get rid of it. So it's kind of Treyarch won't do that to you. If you had that chance and you blew it, no more. With Easter eggs, they've never done that before, so I can't imagine them starting to do it anytime soon. Then we got ourselves the Bony Knife. Now the Bony Knife I find extremely interesting because it's something was bringing back, because of course they have to use things that are in the past because they have to use the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. Except they don't recycle and they don't reduce, but they reuse, because they reuse the fly trap and they reuse the teleporters and monkeys. So of course they can reuse things here too. And if you look at the Bony Knife, it was showed so many times. It's shown here and it's in another place. When you activate the fly Easter egg, it's one of the things that fly through the air, and it's like kind of one of the more obvious things that you can see. And it's just like, I find this pretty interesting, but I'm not too sure. I don't know, I'm shouting out ideas all that I can. And now this is the biggest find. I've been thinking about this for the longest time. I'm probably going to make a separate video on some of these things, but this one especially I will. It's the Hellhounds. I really believe the Hellhounds have a really big part into this. Of course, the reusing thing comes into play here because they have to reuse it. So maybe there's something you have to do during the Hellhounds round. And I found some really super interesting quotes from Richtofen that I will not show you in this video, unfortunately, because I want to really spend a whole video on these Hellhounds because I find them so interesting, and I really feel like you have to do something with them. But they are shown a lot, just keep that in mind. Then we got this last but far from least. It's the DG2, and obviously everybody's been feeling the DG2. If the DG2 is not a part of this main Easter egg, then I don't know. Or the DG3, of course, the Pack Punch version of the DG2. But I can't imagine them not using this in the Easter egg, and it was shown in the trailer. Can't really, obviously, they kind of had to show it, and everybody kind of expected it in this map. But that's about it for this video. You stay tuned for these next videos that I will be releasing on the ones I want to spend more time on. Especially the dogs, because I want to spend a lot of time on them, because I found so many things relating to the Hellhounds that I want to go back to and make a whole video on. So stay tuned for that, and the best way to do it is to subscribe for me, because if you're subscribed to me, it'll be easier to find my videos. You'll know when I release it, and you'll be one of the first ones to watch it. But don't forget to hit thumbs up, and of course subscribe, and that's it, and see you guys later on the next video.